Word Kids, it's Miss Anna and
Oliver.
And we're so glad to be back here for another week of Living Word Kids. It's so good to be in your living room this morning. And Oliver, we are so glad to have you back this morning.
I'm so glad to be here, Miss Anna.
You know, it's pretty hot here. Are you liking Arizona better than Australia?
Yeah.
Or are you ready to go back home?
Yeah, it feels pretty nice here.
Yeah, you like it. You know, it's summertime. School is out. How exciting. School is finally over. And Oliver, tell the kids today what your favorite thing to do is over the summer.
My favorite thing to do is go swimming.
Swimming, you know, and I've watched this show that is in Australia, and they look like they have beautiful beaches. Is that true?
Yes, Miss Anna.
Yeah, that is so awesome. But, you know, even though swimming is so fun, we still want to get into the Word and learn another lesson all about faith. And today, we're going to learn about a special story and some special people. And who is it?
David and Goliath.
David and Goliath. You know, David, there's a lot about David in the Bible, right?
Right.
And this was just kind of the beginning. And so we've got this story of David and Goliath. And we've got Goliath here. We've got two armies who are at war, and it's the Philistines and the Israelites. And Goliath is on the Philistine side. And Goliath is this big dude, and he waltzes in thinking he's the champion, and he's almighty and can just take him out. And he's 9 feet tall.
Whoa.
That's crazy, 9 feet. And then he carried around this armor like he was the boss, and it was 125 pounds. That's a little bit less than what I weigh. That's crazy. And so he carried this around, and he would come out and he would talk to the Israelites, and he's like, why don't you guys send me somebody to fight me? And so he did this morning and night. He just came in and was like, what, you want to fight me? Would you want to go fight him?
Yes.
With the way he sounded, he was big and scary and
a bully.
And a bully, yes, a bully. He was a major bully. And so, Goliath came in, but there was this guy's father that was out there. Him and his brothers were out there, but their youngest brother was named
David.
And what was David, Oliver?
David was a shepherd.
He was a shepherd boy. He was actually really young at this time, right?
Right.
And so he was a shepherd boy. And what did he do while he was out shepherding his sheep?
He killed a lion and a bear.
Right. And that was because the lion and the bear were trying to do what?
Eat his sheep.
Yes. And so he had, his faith was strong in God, and so he knew that God could help him take out the bear and the lion, right? And so What was David coming to war for? What was he coming out to meet the Israelites for?
To take his brother's lunch.
Right, to bring his brothers lunch. They were hungry, and so they called out to him, and he brought them lunch. And so he goes in and he sees this king, and it was King Saul. And King Saul, he was talking with him because his brothers were in there, and then he found out about Goliath. And when David found out about Goliath, what happened, Oliver?
He used his faith, and he found out he was a big bully, and he wanted to take him on.
Yes, he wanted to take him on, and he was going to fight him, right? And so King Saul even told him, oh, well, you can wear all of my armor. But what did David decide?
He decided to go into battle with just his sling and a few smooth stones.
Yeah, and that was the thing. And everybody else was afraid of Goliath. But David was like, no, I'm not afraid, right? And he walked in there, and he knew what he was going to do. And he had faith, and he knew that God was going to help him no matter what, right?
Right.
And so he got his smooth stones. They were smooth. They weren't even pointy. That's crazy, huh? Normally, I think we would pick some pointy stones, right? But he picked some smooth ones and took his slingshot. And can you guess, Oliver, what happened when David walked out and met Goliath?
He was using faith, and he walked out there.
he was using his faith, but what did Goliath say? What do you think Goliath thought when David walked out there? He's this little shepherd boy, and he walks out there. What do you think?
He was making fun of him.
He probably was. He was probably like, "Oh, they sent you?" And they were like, "Oh, I mean, Goliath probably thought he had the battle in the bag, right? Like he was going to win no matter what."
Right.
And then, so what did David decide to do? He was really tired of Goliath and what he was doing. And so, what did David do next?
David, he called on God, and then he put one of the smooth stones in his sling, and he loaded it up, and he got ready, and he threw it.
And he let go of the sling, and it flew. And where did it hit Goliath? Do you remember?
Right in the forehead.
Right in the forehead. And what did Goliath do?
He fell on the ground.
Yes, he fell right to the ground. The Israelites were so happy. Do you think the Philistines were worried at this point?
Yes, I think they run away like little babies.
Probably, just like little babies. They probably ran away, and they were so worried, right? Because now they had to be the slaves, and David had conquered Goliath. And I think one of my favorite parts of this story is that David really stood on what he believed, right?
Right.
And he believed in God, just like so many of the other stories that we've been learning about. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. We were learning about David in the lion's den last week. We really learned how these people stood on their faith. They had a solid foundation in that God would take care of them no matter what. And so I have a little experiment here for us today. I have some soda. Everybody likes soda.
Yum.
And I have some Mentos, and we're gonna do an experiment to show how your faith, when you get into the Word and you spend time in the Word, how your faith will explode all over. Just like, David needed some explosive faith to be able to go conquer this big giant guy. And so, when we put the Mento in here, their faith, our little faith, we're going to act like our soda's our faith, and it's just going to explode everywhere. So you ready for it? And the thing that I like most about this experiment is that it really shows what kind of faith we can have. And it doesn't matter how old you are, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're 5 or 10 or 20 or 50. You can have explosive faith, but what is something you need to do to build your faith?
You need to read God's Word.
Read God's Word, yep. And make sure that you truly believe that He can take care of you no matter what. Whether it's a fiery furnace, a lion's den, walking on the water, or even fighting the big man, right? The big bully. Yeah. You can take him out with your faith. Right. Guys, we are so glad to be here again for this week of Living Word Kids Online. How fun was it?
It was really fun.
I love relearning about these stories. They're so awesome. And they really do build our faith, right?
Right.
All right. Well, guys, it was so good to see you. And we will see you guys soon. So have a great day. Bye.
Bye.